Didn't even matter to me. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. You won't find me at no store. I have no time for manicures. With you it's never either or. To the final four, just repossess my 4x4. Yeah, 'cause nothing even matters no more. Nothing even matters, yeah, yeah.
You are tuned in to the Maze Jackson Show. Lord have mercy. What is going on with us today, man? I don't know what's going on. The troll started early. But we are back live doing our thing. So y'all do me a favor, take a moment, share the broadcast. We are live. Take a moment, share the broadcast. I don't think I got through all my headlines, so I'm going to just run through the rest of the headlines, and then we're going to jump in at 7 o'clock. I do want to see if I can get my audio and video working. So, Riis, after we get this done, on the break, we're going to connect the road as well. Hey, man. So, Ruthie, did you see yesterday we had two suicide attacks? Two suicide bombers attacked the escape from Afghanistan?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of crazy.
But, you know, they had kind of warned of a threat, so somebody knew something.
Well, it's ISIS-K.
I saw that.
So, ISIS-K is actually enemies of the Taliban. And ISIS-K, so the deal is with the Taliban, who is now becoming the legit government.
Mm-hmm.
And the ISIS-K is now trying to get their own spot. So it's like a whole little thing going. So they blew up the American citizens. And 13 Marines, up to 60 Afghanis were killed. Now, the thing with that is the U.S. was like trying to shame the Taliban. You see that the general was like, well, if the Taliban can't hold their own fort down and you can't even protect your own capital. Dog, you just left 2 days ago. You ain't even done.
Well, from my understanding, that was the purpose of the ISIS-K attack, was to show that the Taliban,
you ain't the boss of me?
Yeah, to destabilize, to show like, oh, they have no control. It's interesting. I think it's interesting. We're going to keep boots on the ground. We're going to leave. What we going to do?
Ruthie, what's the protocol? What's the COVID protocol?
Man, ain't no COVID over there.
I'm saying, it ain't no, wait.
Listen, ain't nobody saying nothing about no COVID, right? I have not heard the word COVID. I ain't heard nobody say nothing about no mask. are they giving the people vaccines when they arrive at the airports? But you see, it's like a humanitarian crisis, and so COVID is like a back burner.
Okay.
Just like how it was a back burner during Lala.
La. The mayor's
It is interesting though, because you're right. You're right. What are the COVID protocols?
I also got to know, how much is it going to cost to resettle them? Do they get a house?
Where they going? To like which country?
No, they coming to the United States.
You talking about the ones coming to the U.S.?
Yeah, hey man. If the Afghans get ahead of us before we do, I'm gonna be salty. I can't even front. I will be salty.
Watch, they gonna get reparations.
They got reparations in Afghanistan.
They gonna get reparations.
What's that from?
That's your headphones. You got them real good headphones, and you keep pulling to it. Every time you'll see it.
Okay. Well, we got to figure it out. It's so you think my real good? Okay. Riis said I got the good headphones. Why you got the Sennheisers on, dog? You the one balling. I'm just a little guy trying to make my name out here. All right. Let me see. I said the Afghanis. Did you see the Supreme Court says you can resume evictions? Mm-hmm. So that I expected that. Ruthie, you got tenants? Mm-hmm. Do they pay the rent? Mm-hmm. Okay. If they don't pay the rent, would you want the right to evict them, or would you just let them live rent free?
Would I as a landlord be getting something?
Nah, turn in the paper. Like it's the contingent.
Then no.
Riis, you think people when they know they can't get convicted, you think they ain't gonna pay their rent?
If they know they getting put out, why would you pay rent?
Well, so how long do you go before you pass the? Wait, cause your word. But let me ask a question. So how long do you get before you say, okay, they just got to put me out? How many months do you got to get behind? 4 months? 4 months and it's just like, test me? Or is it a year? Like, because right now, some people have lived almost a year and a half paying none. Oh, yeah. Didn't go get no application. Didn't even try to get landlord relief.
That's burnt.
But it's people that did go fill out the paperwork to get the relief. So those people also matter.
Yes, they do. So Ruthie, but if you had a tenant that didn't pay rent for how many months before you gonna start tripping? Like, let's take away the familiar component.
It depends. Like, if it depends on like the communication. If people been in communication with them, then that might be.
What if your bank say, "I love you for that," and all, but no.
It's protections for landlords and for people who got mortgages too.
Okay. Not
as as good as, the rent people's, but it's an interesting thing. Yeah, well, I mean, really, but for real, like winter time is coming. You can't evict nobody in the winter in Chicago.
Right. I mean,
they probably good.
They like, man.
They good at least until probably like March.
Right.
Right. March or April.
Right. And then
also, so they might be able to coast into the summer.
They got the now just think, you got somebody living in your joint
actually
for 2 years.
But you know what? They got kids. If they got elderly people, they can finesse it out longer.
Oh my God, y'all. Speaking of finesse, I saw the most amazing thing yesterday. I was at the Pizza Hut. I'm not going to tell you which Pizza Hut, but I was at the Pizza Hut. I was waiting to pick up the pizza when a gentleman came in and offered me, he said he had everything except fentanyl. He said he had heroin, coke, weed, za. He had, he said he had 2 girls in the bathroom, if he wanted a white one or a Puerto Rican one. And as he's telling me this, this is all while I'm waiting for my pizza. I'm just waiting for my pizza, right?
That's why you order and pick up.
I did. That's what you try to do. But he's telling me, because in the parking lot, as I'm driving through the parking lot, it's like a dude walking slow across the thing. So I really wasn't paying attention, and I didn't have my glasses on because I couldn't see. So he's like, that punk motherfucker. He started talking. So the dude is clearly like somewhere in the neighborhood regularly, like Debo. Mm-hmm. So not Debo, but a shorter version of Debo-ish. So he said, man, you see this brother out here? man, get your. So he starts snapping out. So I go, I really didn't know what happened. So he comes in and tells me, dude said you a punk. Da, 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 da. I was like, I don't even know, dude. Then we get into this whole conversation, and he's like, oh, by the way, I know I could see by how you carry yourself, you a king. So I just want to let you know you can come to my spot. And so he tells me all this stuff. And as he's telling me this, he's taking a stick, and while the man is going to get my pizza, he takes the stick, slides it on the side of the cash register where the man has put some of the, I guess, is underneath the register. He takes the stick while he's literally talking to the man he's stealing from, who is getting a pizza, and takes the stick, sticks it between the thing. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? He pulls out $20.
Oh, wow.
Puts it in his pocket, and then talks to the dude like, y'all got any extra food around here? And took the man $20. The dude gave him free food. And then on the way out, he said, you see me finesse, dude? He said, I could finesse a mug, bro.
That's why I told you can't trust me.
No, that's called stealing.
Finesse, Ruthie.
No. See how the game then got twisted?
So I'm just going to tell you. It was an amazing moment in my life. So let me say, as a resident of Bolingbrook, right? I'm just going to say, this dude literally took a stick from the tree outside. I was like, what is he going to do with the stick? He is literally talking to the man, Ruthie, as he's sliding the stick under the cash register. And I'm wondering and the dude fishes out a 20 because the dude was putting money. I really think dude had his own hustle going on because everything wasn't in the cash register, but looked like it was to the camera. Finesse for the finesse. I just had to say that was an amazing thing that I saw yesterday.
Which location? You got a 200-300 fans. You gonna send them there? Yeah, that's how it is.
I can't tell you what location. I tell you off air. I can't tell you location though. And let me just start here though. It was not out west. It was smack dab in the middle of the South Side, and it really. Hey man, I'm just gonna tell y'all. Ruthie, I'm telling you, when I saw it, I felt like, should I go back and say, just hit you? But then, what came to my mind?
He probably in on it.
Riis.
Oh.
That ain't none of my business. I was like, I just came here for a pizza. I was just trying to feed the people. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Look, let's take a quick break. Do we need a break? I don't think we need to take a break because we ran out of time. Riis, you can tell them some traffic and weather in a minute. I'll tell you when, though. We can do that. All right, it's the Maze Jackson Show. It's 7 o'clock. Don't forget, we got a guest at 7:30. It is the Darlena Williams-Burnett will be in with us, sitting in to talk about her new book. Hey, what's up with... Wait a minute. Let me see if I can get this going on. So, y'all, last night... You remember that song?
I think I heard it.
By After 7?
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar. You sang it pretty good.
I did.
For me to recognize it.
All right. Last night, you got something special out of me. Anyway, it was Babyface Brother. But anyway, last night, I had the opportunity to go to... You all have heard me talk about the Metropolitan Leadership Institute, better known as MLI. MLI is the organization that actually... Oops, sorry. MLI is the organization, the Latino based power-based organization that I joined, or I don't know if it's joined, I took the class, okay? And it basically was about power and actually the execution of power. And last night, after I kind of was feeling a certain way about not being invited to Kanye.
To Kanye's house.
Soldier Field. I went to this event and I thought it was important that we see the video. Now, I don't know how much of this I captured, and I don't know how much you're going to be able to hear. Hey, Riis, let's do this real quick, though. See if you can connect me. I'm going to turn everything off. Connect me to the road, if you don't mind. All right, let me go check the preferences. Ooh, that ain't, I think that's what I need. Roadcaster Pro. But anyway, Ruthie, yesterday, we got it? It says we connected. No? All right, then go back out. Hold on one second, though. So, Ruthie, yesterday I went to...
when did you join MLI, take the class? How long ago?
2013.
13.
Yep, 2013. I took the class because there was a point in my history where I recognized that there was not a path forward for Black people who wanted to climb the ladder. And it seemed like every time there was a new position, it was going to somebody from the Latino community. Is that me?
Maybe it's me.
And so what I decided to do was to take the class because really at the time I wasn't super what's in it for the Black people. I was trying to figure out my way. I was on the back end of lobbying, and I joined the class to learn about, I was just trying to figure out why all these Latino people, every time the mayor needed a new job or somebody went to the spot, they would always get the spot. So it was this group, MLI. Last night, they had a reunion, the second reunion. They were part of UNO. They kind of fell off at the end of their career. They were the people when we had the last remap that negotiated the $100 million for the other to not take away the Black wards. In exchange, they got $100 million plus they got the schools, and then they got kind of kicked out the power cycle. But now that all of the old power players are gone, they are kind of reforming, if that makes sense, right? So they got put on the outs, other people jumped in, but it was like Juan came back and said, hey, y'all, let's just have a reunion. And when they were at the reunion, they looked around the room and they was doing roll calls, and it was like everybody remember when we ran this bad boy? They were like the intellectual version of HDO. So HDO was like the muscle. These were like the intellectual college graduates who we were aligned with in college and then went on to become power brokers, lawyers, doctors, the whole thing. Ruthie? Okay, here, Riis, I'm trying to get this roadcaster. It's not working for me. I went to...
Delete it and then redo it.
Okay.
Forget it.
All right, so Ruthie, last night I went to the reunion. I'm going to tell you also that Carrie, after Carrie and I were dating, and she was in power, I was like, you need to take MLI because it will help you expand your base, right? You'll have more people. Goodness gracious, what is going on, I said, so she joined it too. Mm-hmm. Riis, can we do this? Because I'm all over the place and I need to get this right. So here's what we're gonna do. When we come back, we're gonna let Riis do some news, traffic, and weather, play a short song. I'm gonna cue up this video for you, and then we'll be all set, and then I'll be able to talk a little bit more intelligently because I'm all over the place and I'm not doing you justice. So let's talk about this Latino power brokering. We'll be back in give us 3 minutes. So let's do it in 3 to 4 minutes. All right.
After break. WIIFTBP.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you find the right man who'll fix it for you. And I, you shop.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media? The time is now 7:09 a.m. and I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports, weather, and traffic update. In sports, the Chicago White Sox in Toronto taking on the Blue Jays for Game 4. The Sox would homer 4 times, and Carlos Rodon in his return would win, as Sox win 10-7. On this express, on the traffic on the Kennedy O'Hare to the Loop is 25 minutes outbound to O'Hare will be 23. On the Eden, inbound from Deerfield to the Exchange is 32. Exchange to Deerfield will be 27. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop is 33 minutes, as well as on the way back. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan is 37 minutes. Outbound will be 33. On the Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan is 36, 28 minutes back out to I-80. The Dan Ryan, 20 minutes to the Loop, 15 minutes back out to 95th. The Sabo Lakeshore Drive, 8 minutes all around. That's 55th to Jackson, Jackson to 55th. Randolph to Bryn Mawr, and Bryn Mawr back to Randolph. Today's weather is currently 73 and sunny. Expect a high of 91 and a low of 70. I'm Riis the Ruler. Now back to the Mays Jackson Show.
What you doing? In my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well my body's been.
Back to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now of the politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Mays, it's Sonya, and Ruthie and Todd, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve on.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. I got my mojo back. Y'all need to take a moment, share the broadcast, and share the broadcast. Y'all got me feeling like, shoot. Ruthie, they got us like, well, I ain't gonna.
It's Friday.
Nah, it ain't. That's right. That's why y'all gotta tune in. All right, because this is the part y'all don't want to miss. So, Ruthie, you know I told you I was a part of MLI, which is the Metropolitan Leadership Institute. It was a Latino organization created for young Latino professionals to gain power in the city of Chicago. I became aware of it when I was a political operative, and I noticed that every time a new position opened up, the Latinos were starting to get these spots, and it was young whippersnapper Latinos, and I'd be like, how you so young and get that spot? Well, you know, you got to be 60 to be black to get some of these spots, and these young Latinos were like 30, 35, that when they were getting these spots, at an early age, it would propel them. So by the time they was 35 or 40, they was doing stupid money. So I joined the organization. I was one of very few black people that even knew about it and joined it. And when I was sitting in the classes, Ruthie, is like it was 100% about Latinos. And, you know, you sitting there and people talking about you, and you be like, yeah, I am sitting right here. But what was good was they didn't care that I was sitting right there, right? Because they were about their pursuit of power. And so then they had a meteoric rise. They were running the world. They were connected to UNO. If you remember UNO, they were the brainchild of Juan Rangel and Phil Mullins that created this young army of professionals that was the parallel to HDO, which was the Goon Squad. And so they kind of worked in tandem to build Latino power. Well, UNO fell out of good graces and kind of fell off. And then members of who were from MLI tried to eat the bones and remains, and it didn't work. And the governors changed, and all the political dynamic that put them out is now gone. And yesterday was the reformation of it. So it was kind of crazy to go to it because, you know, it's like when you're Latino and you say you was in MLI, they be like, what?
In a
like,
good, what?
It depends. It depends, right? It's like they be like they good and bad. Like if you on the power tip, it's good. Like you know how I always say read the 48 Laws of Power? They're like practitioners of the 48 Laws of Power. So if you think that's bad, cruel, manipulative, then you're not gonna rock with it. Anyway, today was the Reformation, and I couldn't tell if this was a pre-mayoral announcement or what, but I want you to hear some of the audio that I heard last night. I told him I was going to play it. This is Alderman Gilbert Villegas addressing the crowd. Now, I don't know how good the audio is, so if it isn't good, then I can interpret it a little bit later, but here we go. Why can't I hear it?
Oh, it's definitely up. Yeah, is it muted on your screen?
Oh, hold on. Oh, dang. Maybe it is. Okay, dang. Where did the audio go? All right, I don't know what. Did the road go away?
Nah, everything is still connected. I looked at all that. It's definitely up.
It says not connected on my end. All right, y'all. Dang, I don't know what the heck is going on. No love for me right now. But hold on. So
love.
I gotta Riis. It says it's not here.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna turn mine off too. Yeah. But anyway, last night a couple things happened that was interesting because these guys are about power, so it doesn't. What's the matter?
You can try again now.
All right, give me a second. So these guys were talking last night about power brokering while we were at the Kanye concert, and I thought it was interesting. And I'm hoping that I can get this audio so you all can hear it. Roadcaster. Says connected. Do I have it? Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Friday.
Jesus does not love me right now.
Jesus always.
You know what? Okay, let's try it one more time because I really do. I really think it. Please. I think this is. I'm just telling y'all. That's part of the reason we can't get the audio.
Why we just can't say that the devil is at work right now, right? You know what I'm saying, Ruthie? Right?
It's the devil.
You know what?
It's the devil at work right now. You know God's gonna turn it around.
You know you should have played that for me.
I am.
Hold up. Yeah, I need that in my life right now because this is. Do you have it?
You connected now.
Okay. Now let's try. I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna play.
Whether it's appointments at CPD, whatever.
All right. Now, let me get this right. I'm sorry, y'all.
All this is for a fair share. All I'm looking for.
This is just crazy Friday, but here you go. This is Alderman Gilbert Villegas addressing the crowd last night, and I think you should listen to this.
And I've been very consistent on that. Whether it's appointments at CPD, CF, whatever. All I'm asking for is our fair share. All I'm looking for is parity. Help us get there. And so I'm going to be leaning on this organization, this new organization, to help us, the City Caucus, put some pressure. Because, as they say, it's never given. You got to take it. So what we want to do is we just want to get our fair share. So again, this is perfect timing. Because we're all for that. And I want to make sure that when I'm doing the battle, I can look back and see a room like this. Sometimes when I feel like the other thing is that we've got to get the organized body right in the organized money. And so I can tell you that I'm already working on the business side of it in case we get to a point where the remapping can't be resolved in the regular process.
Wait. Did y'all hear that? He said, I'm lining up the resources in case this can't be resolved, right? They are preparing for war. This was a marshalling call for them to get ready to take our lunch. Let me let you hear some more.
It's going to be incumbent upon us to work together, again, just to make sure that we get our fair share. 30%, I know we should be looking for.
They said they want 30%.
And I want to work with all of you, so that way, again, I can extend my network, and people who are looking to get into positions, I can be able to say, look, we have a qualified person that can do this, and we can put them in this position. So again, this is perfect timing. I look forward to working with everyone here. I'm going to dip out right now, but Ron has my information. If not, follow me on social media. Get a hold of me because I want to meet you. I want to talk to you about how you can be helpful.
Thank you very much, Alderman. As I said, this is not just a party, right? We're going to put you all to work and we'll all be a part of that as we move forward. When you came in with these cards and they're scattered, please fill them out.
It's going down. You got to stop hitting me, man. It's going down.
Look, basically yesterday what you saw right there, and I think it was probably a little bit loud in the bar, was the MLI reunion. That was Alderman Gilbert Villegas, who was the former chair of the Latino caucus, as well as the mayor's floor leader, who left the mayor's floor leader, who many believe may be planning to run for mayor. Now, here is Juan Rangel speaking, and I hope that you'll be able to hear this a little bit better.
All that anymore. We got to move forward. We're going to do that together. So if you take one of these cards, fill it out one, because I don't know that we have all of your contact information. But let us know what you would like to do to help MLI, the next generation, succeed. Recruiting candidates, helping with fundraising, and then just playing the leadership role. There's different things that we'd like to do with MLI that we didn't get a chance to do in the last one. But one of them, mark my words, this MLI, along with all of you, will have an agenda, and that we have to move that agenda forward and together. So with that,
yeah, he said this MLI will have an agenda, and we will be moving it forward. What you all are seeing, if you're watching this, this is their desire to acquire power. Let me tell you what happened yesterday. Ruthie, I'm sitting in this room. I'm having drinks. Quite frankly, it was a big reunion. I graduated from MLI. It's like, what class were you? I'm 13. I'm this. It's like a whole little rivalry. But it was a discussion about power, about getting it. And I was thinking about it from the perspective of, so I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but saying that they getting together to push their agenda forward. Gilbert Villegas came in and said that he is prepared for a fight they want 30% of everything. You see how we be fighting for the 26? They said they want 30% for them. You heard him say parity? He said all this other stuff we've been talking ain't been working. In that room was their next generation of leaders preparing not to ask, but to take.
I heard that part. He said you don't ask for power, you take power.
You don't ask for power, you take it. Now, everybody in that room either was in government or started in government, leveraged their opportunity in government to get more power in the real world. Our elected officials and our power brokers think it's good. You're powerful if you go to the party, right? Remember I used to talk about everybody going to selfies and like when you look at, this is their generation of power brokers, and you didn't see no selfies. Nobody took out a camera except me. They took pictures of each other, but they weren't selfieing like, oh my God. Alexi Janulius came in the room and they said, hey, Joe, we letting you come. This ain't an endorsement, but we need to see you. Nobody ran up to take a selfie with him. They was all in the room like, yo, what's up with the power? I got that video too. I just don't know that the audio is good. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to juxtapose that. These are their emerging leaders. I want to juxtapose that with this quote from who we have called our most powerful alderman in the city council. I have always attempted to be loyal to the mayors whom I served. Their leadership just said, we got to take it. Ours says, we got to be loyal to the people we serve. Who are you serving? We wear service and loyalty to white people who have stripped us bare as a badge of honor. And then when you get tossed, we got to catch you. But you were loyal to them. Y'all, I was sitting in the room, and y'all got to understand how dope and embarrassing it is at the same time. You got to understand how dope it is to be in a room where you watch young people exercising their power. Like I was listening to people like, hey, yo, when the mayor's office needed a XYZ, ABC, old girl called me up who I met in this class and said, hey, you can take this. They handed the job off. How I tell you, we're supposed to put the next person in so you never lose the connection. There's continuity. They came in the room. We saw Alderman Joe Moreno, right? We saw Alderman Gilbert Villegas. Check this out. Anna Valencia graduated from me in my class, with me in my class. Mm-hmm. Couldn't stand her, but she climbed the ladder to success with Ron. She shunned her own people, and then they welcomed Alexi. She like, oh, I can't be associated with the black folks with the Latinos over there because they gonna get me in trouble. Let me not say that's what happened. She didn't show. Mm-hmm. When all of the whole generation of Latino leaders was in that thing, and it's like, you came from it. Mm. You came from this, and you want to deny it, but they're reforming. So instead, they brought Alexi. Alexi says.
But hold on, Maze. I think one of the differences is she know not to show up. Like it's not a. It's kind of like she know better. Whereas like black elected officials, it's kind of like, hey, I'm here.
See, but, and I don't even think she know better than to show up. I think that she's been taught, she's been so close to the white folks that when the white folks say, stay away from them, but them your people.
But now they getting the.
Exactly.
Dang.
Yo, Y'all, it was both. It was dope to see and it was embarrassing at the same time. And I know I had somebody say, Mace, I watch your show every day, man. Look, none of them mad. Nobody now some people was looking a little cross-eyed. I ain't gonna lie. But most people was like, hey man, I see you every day. Ain't nobody mad at what you doing for your people. Cause that's what you supposed to do. Can I tell you? Do you know when the first time I really knew that we have all black been trained to be loyal to the people we serve. My whole political upbringing was that. I look at these guys who beat the hell out the system to the point that the white people brokered a deal with them to say, we don't want no beef, we'll just come to you. If Gilbert said in his speech, he said, I was tired of arguing about positions or asking for them and not having no resumes to give, so we created our own group. Yo, here's what I would say. And it's so crazy because Ruthie, I don't know what to like, so I'll give you the example. Cause do you know how it in what you had to do?
Application.
Beyond fill out an application. Ruthie, are you froze?
Mm-hmm.
Why you ain't tell me?
Man, we got so much going on. Long as they can still hear us.
All right, well I'll fix it in a minute. But Ruthie, can you imagine the fact that everybody black in politics has been taught to be loyal to the white people ahead of them, and the Latinos are taught to be loyal to each other, and then they stick together, and then they broker Ruthie, and then it's like I don't know what to do. Do you remember when I had precinct captain training class? I don't know if you remember that. I had precinct captain training class trying to share some of the wisdom. Mm-hmm. It was $25 a week, right? $100 for classes. Right? My time, energy, I pay for all the stuff, lunch, breakfast, whatever. Nobody would come through, right? Like they wouldn't pay their $25. They came to the class and I'm just trying to be a good dude. Do you know that all of them kids paid $3,000 to be in the class?
Oh, you needed money to get in there.
$3,000. But look what it translated to them for.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah.
It translated up. Look, y'all. It was amazing to watch Alexi walk into the room as the presumed front runner, and he was going to them instead of how we do and run up to take the picture. Everybody was like, yeah, you in the room, dog, but we don't know jack bone about you. Now, obviously, which eventually made him have to bow down and say how important we were to him. Look, I got to take a quick break because Darlena's here, so we got a guest. We'll be right back after these messages. The Mace Jackson Show.
The Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
WIIFTBP.
Chicago's Power Hour. I'm your host, Angie Mims, and
Terrence Keys, TD, a.k.a. Terrence Daniels.
I wish I had one witness in the house.
You got one. Got a couple of them. Got two T's.
Give me a testimony.
Oh, Lord. He's did it before. Oh, Lord. I got one. Something better. I got 5 reasons. 5 reasons. Oh, Lord. He turned it around. Turn it around. He woke me up this morning. Oh. Don't do this. Don't do this. Number 4? He woke me up this morning. Come on, number 3. Come. He woke me up. Oh, Lord.
He woke you up.
That thing can touch you. One of them 5s will get you. What's the second one? He woke me up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, my God.
And the number 1 reason. Number 1. Final answer. He woke me up this morning.
He woke me up this morning.
That's a testimony.
That's a testimony.
Everybody say fire. like Jeremiah. Won't leave me alone. Spirit's got everybody say fire. Shut up and like Jeremiah. Won't leave me alone. Spirit's got. Come on, favorite Friday, let's go. Everybody say fire. Shut up and like Jeremiah. Won't leave me alone. Spirit's got. Come on, clap your hands right here, let's go. Like Jeremiah, won't leave me alone. Spirit's got. Say fire, but his word was like a burning fire. Shut up in my bones, that's Jeremiah 20:9. Say whole lot of. Burning. Something about that Holy Ghost fire. Say fire. Feels like fire. Come on, put your hands together, come on. Holy Ghost, fire. I said Holy Ghost, fire. Shut up in my bones. Fire, shut up in my bones. Fire, fire. I said fire, shut up in my bones. Fire, ooh, fire. I said Holy Ghost. Come on, let's take it out. Say fire. Feels like fire. Whole lot of fire. Come on, favorite Friday, let's go home. Oh, say just like fire. Just like fire. Shut up in my bones. I can feel it in my bones. Holy Ghost fire. Yeah, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. In my bones, 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 bones. Holy Ghost fire. Holy Ghost fire.
are tuned in to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Moore, as well as my man, DJ in the. It is 7:37. We're having a crazy, technically difficult show.
Me and Riis was talking about that when you left.
I don't know. You know what? It's like they just wasn't going to let me get out the week in peace. They weren't going to let me get out the week in peace. So let me say what's up to everybody on WBGX 1570 AM who is tuned in with us. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We are doing our thing today. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Friday. It's the last day of the week. And I got to tell y'all, I'm fired up to talk to this author now. I used to affectionately call, she was the original, if you know me, I call women in charge boss lady. But she was the original boss lady to me. Because for those of y'all that don't know, when I first got into politics, the very first campaign that I ever ran, I remember, y'all hear me tell this joke all the time. I remember my phone rang. Ding, bing. Hello. Maze, I'm so excited. I want to ask you to do me a favor. I want to entrust you with my wife's campaign. This is the most exciting day. You should be fired up because this is your beginning in the politics. Can you tell how excited I am? Little did I know that would lead me down the path that brings us to right here. Here in the building, very first campaign I ever ran. And I don't think I was running it. I had the title. They was running it. I was doing what they was telling me to do. But, I was the campaign manager for this woman who has been a part of my life, since 1999, 98. And I've seen, I feel like we've been together for so long. I done seen, we went from Young Democrats with Omar, Jahario, Williams. Now I'm looking at Lil Walter, who is now not Lil Walter. He's Big Walter. And now it's like, you know what? We were sitting out last week for dinner. And then as I was sitting there, I just thought about how much history had passed between us. And I thought it was a perfect time to get you in to talk about your new book. I'm so proud of you. When the book came in the mail, when people say they're going to write a book, you be like, yeah, whatever. Because I'm still, I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book, right? I'm still writing it. You have several books. Pull up. I need you to get closer to the mic because Riis, she on the red. See, can you talk for me a second?
That better?
That's much better. There it is.
Okay,
We got
cool.
it. So, to us about the book, Living History, is my good friend, the original boss lady, Darlena Williams-Burnett. Welcome to the Maze Jackson Show. How are you?
I am great, Mazo, as I affectionately refer to you as.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me on. Appreciate it.
No, this is your house. So, when you decide you want to do your podcast or you want to do the audio version of the audio book, you come here, you tell them you want the budget to come here and you can record. We got it all together. Boss lady, talk to me about the book. You wrote a book. What was the inspiration of the book?
Well, it's something I wanted to do for a long time, and I had been writing bits and pieces over the years, journaling, and never sat down and put it all together. During the pandemic, I got with a publisher, and they were able to motivate me, and I was motivated, and we were able to get it done. Gave me some deadlines and helped me to focus. So I was able to get the book done in 2020, and all of 2021 was putting it all together, getting it ready to be published.
So let's back up, because I probably jumped out. I had my little moment and didn't give you the opportunity to tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Author, Darlena Burnett. Where the Williams at?
Well, I dropped it.
Did
I don't
you?
use it as much anymore, but for years I hyphenated my name mainly to make sure that there was the connection between my son, Jahario Omar Williams. And I always used to tease Walter and say, I'm going to keep my name in case I have to drop your name.
Oh,
so,
you didn't tell that to Carrie. Is that why she ain't took my
in
name?
case you don't act right, I'm good. But anyway, my name is Darlena Williams Burnett, and I am the author of Living History. I have decided to write this book because my younger son, was my major inspiration. I'm always, telling jokes, encouraging the family, and trying to be a leader, lead by example. And my son was like, "Mom, you should write a book. You got so many stories. You should tell your story." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna do that." And I never did it. And so I put it all together, and I'm just very grateful that I was able to get it published and getting some good reviews. It kind of chronicles my life from the time I grew up in Mississippi as a little girl and of course, coming to the North and those struggles, being a teenage parent. It's a series, it's intended to be inspirational and motivational for young folk.
Let's take a step back. Let's go to growing up in Mississippi. So you grew up in, I think, wait, you grew up in Mississippi. How you end up on the west side? Because I thought Mississippi ended up on the south side and Bama went to the west side.
Traditionally, I think that most African Americans that came from the South, they did end up on the south side because that was one of the main thoroughfares that we could go to. It was all the segregation, and most of us ended up on the south side. I think my mom came to Chicago on the tail end of the Great Migration.
Got it.
So there was a little bit more movement. My uncle, who worked in the steel mill, lived on the south side, and he was a pillar.
Okay.
And so he lived in Chatham, Chatham is they had a brick bungalow, was living a life, doing all the good things, and set examples for us. But we lived on the west side. When we came to Chicago, my mother lived with her sister, and her sister lived on the west side, and that's how I came to the west side.
So back up, Mississippi. How long did you live in Mississippi? Because now I got to ask, are you really a Chicagoan? Because you came from Mississippi. They be sweating me because I came from Bolingbrook.
Yeah.
Well, I actually came from Chicago. But tell me about your upbringing in Mississippi.
I don't know how many of us can claim Chicago as our home.
Okay.
Most of us migrated. At least my parents migrated, and most of the people I know migrated. But we grew up, when I was born, we were in the rural part of Mississippi. My mom was a sharecropper, and my dad was a farmer. And, just faced all the challenges that most families face living in the South. This was then during the Civil Rights Movement, and, we had to see the white-only signs and colors here. And I was the first in my family to attend desegregated schools, even though schools were mandated by the government, the federal government, to be desegregated years before, but Mississippi refused. So by the time I was in elementary school, going to third grade, they finally desegregated our school. Third grade.
Third grade, you were still okay. Well, okay. So
all of my sisters and brothers attended segregated schools, and by the time, like I said, I went to third grade, the schools were desegregated, and we had to intermingle.
So when did you come? So what made you all leave Mississippi and come to Chicago?
Well, my mom was looking for a better way of life.
Okay. Cause wait, y'all was sharecropping for real. So how you get out of that? How y'all pay the debt?
Well, I guess she finally paid it.
Okay.
It wasn't as what we did. What she did was she picked cotton.
Okay.
And when you pick cotton, at the end of the day, you do your tallies, and they would cheat you on how much your cotton weighed. And so it kind of debt. And apparently we weren't that much debt. If you didn't borrow, you didn't have that much to pay back. So also what was happening in the South at that time in the mid 60s, the cotton combines had come along. So there was not as much need for individuals to be in the fields picking cotton because the combines would do a lot of it. So like I said, there was a need for a better way of life. She was trying to raise 3 girls. My dad and her were separating, not completely, but it was there. My mom worked as a caregiver for my cousin. She made like $50 a month.
Ooh.
This was in the 60s. So it was just time for her to make a move, and courageous as she was to make that move. All of her siblings were here in Chicago.
So she had somewhat of a net. Like she had a base to start with.
Yes, I'm
because she moved with us. I think that's the story of most people, though, that usually somebody goes and pioneers and makes a space. Or at least that used to be the story, right? Where somebody goes to the north or goes there, and then you start there, you live with them. That's actually what happened with my mom, except they wound up in Blue Island, and my mom was like, I can't stay in Blue Island. I got to move to, so we moved to 62nd and Rhodes. So
the city.
You moved to Chicago. Tell me about the difference, and then you tell us that you're a teenage mom. I want to know a little bit about that too.
Yeah, just moving to the north had never really. I'd been up here a couple of summers, but it was very sheltered, so it was different. Literally culture shock. Children were much more advanced or not worldly than we were.
What grade did you come? Give me what grade did you come?
So by the time I came here to stay, I was in the 6th grade.
Oh wow, you was what? Oh, so you was straight Southern. 6th grade. I mean, that's. I mean, you think about it. You could at 6th grade. I feel like if I would have left school at 6th grade, I could have been
grown, huh?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Most of us thought we were grown at that age, but we weren't. And I actually ended up going back down south to care for my grandmother, who had got really, really ill and was kind of bedridden. So I didn't get back to Chicago till I was in the 7th grade in junior high, and I attended John Marshall Upper Grade Center.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you come back to Chicago. You're living here. What was the best? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it when you came? What was the was it? You said it was culture shock. Good culture shock, bad culture shock.
It was a family was happy. You reunited with my mom and my sisters, and just feeling good about that. The culture shock. The other part of it for me was there was no the togetherness that we knew in the South, how black people helped each other and everybody got along. We spoke to each other. We looked out for each other. If you were hungry, there's somebody bringing food. If you knew someone was hungry, you were taking food. So in the North, it just seems like everybody was much more independent and separated. Even though we were close together and living on top of each other, there was not a village concept that I could relate to.
Teenage mom. The concept of a teenage mom for a long time had a negative stigma. But I look at you and I look at the outcomes, and I look at your son, who is now a state rep, work for the city. I look at your other son, who is I don't want to tell his business, but man,
I don't want to tell his business.
I don't either,
wow.
but what? Bang, zoom, pow! Wow. But that's not really the story that we hear when we talk about teenage moms. We always hear the story of downtrodden, your life is going to be ruined, et cetera, et cetera. You were a teenage mom and you decided, because a lot of people opt out, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people opt out. You didn't opt out, but you still went on to college, pledged the best sorority in the world.
Z5.
Look at Ruthie like, Ruthie got her elephants around. Look, you saw her raise her neck up so you can see her elephants.
That's why you wore that blue. My favorite color.
Don't mind Riis, because he party in the front. I mean, business in the front, party in the back, but he an alpha, so you got to be watching him.
It is all love. It is all love, y'all.
Darlena, and then you've gone on to be an author, but that's not the trajectory that we hear of a teenage mom. Tell me how you kind of, and I don't know if it's overcame, because that's not it. I don't think you overcome being a teenage mom. I think you came out on the other side probably even better, maybe. Tell me how that went, and what were the challenges you faced, and inspiration for people to make it through.
Well, I have to admit, for a long time, the stigma was heavy on my heart too, because of what society expected of you or how society looked at you. So I didn't talk a lot about the fact that I was a teenage mom, but I was. And I love my son. I loved him before he came into the world, and I protected him because I kind of had a feeling that my sisters, who were older, was going to encourage my mom to make me have an abortion. So no one knew I was pregnant until I was 5 months into my pregnancy, and I wasn't showing, and I didn't tell a soul. To myself, tell my boy. I think the Lord just told me to be quiet, sit still. And by the time I confided in my mom that I was pregnant, when you read the book, you will see the story. You don't just hear it.
That's why I want you to just set us up to go read it, because I got the book. And by the way, you all need to order the book. So you got to order. Tell them how to order the book, because we got them in suspense right now.
Oh, okay.
So tell them how to order the book.
The book is available on Amazon. Like I said, the title is Living History. and it kind of chronicles my life. So it's available on Amazon. We're going to do a book signing September
17th, Friday at 326 North Racine at the Freight and Play. We're going to all be there, so don't you worry about that. We're going to promote that.
Thank
so
you.
you, how does your mom respond? Well, let me not tell you because we're going to let the book, you're going to read the book. And it's a good read. It's 90 pages, so you can knock it out. I told him, Darlena, I've been constipated, so I haven't had my reading time.
Yeah.
So that's when I get my reading time. But I said
I to your other office.
Yeah, that's my other office. Carrie be like, what are you doing in there? Jesus, boy, come on out of there. And did you Sprite? Oh, I'm sorry.
Look at Ruthie. She's like, it's too much information.
TMI.
Okay. So, boss lady, you go on from being a teen mom. You go to college. You go to college with a child.
I do. I graduated from high school with honors. I love school, and fortunate enough to have some great teachers, not just good teachers, that latched on to me, gave me encouragement, supported me. I mean, I sailed through high school, loved it, didn't want to leave. I had so much fun and doing so many good things.
What high school is this again? Still John Marshall?
John Marshall.
Okay.
Commandos. What can I say? So anyway, I go off to college. That's really a difficult time for me. My son is 3 years old, and I had to make a decision. I figured if I don't go away to school, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to go to college because there was just not enough motivation, positive influences, and a lot of things going on in the neighborhood that were negative. Around that time, the gangs were starting to rear their ugly heads, and it was just tough being on the west side.
Where was you at West?
Time I was around a community called East Garfield.
Look at Riis.
Fifth City community.
Okay.
So really Jackson and Kedzie, if you know that area. That's where we were.
Okay. Ain't it a
small world?
Okay. No, it's a restaurant, right, man? It's
Jimmy's G.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Down there.
So now college, and you go away because you don't think you'll be motivated to finish. So wait, you go to college with a child and you think you're going to be motivated, and did you finish?
Well, what happened is I actually brought Omar back to Chicago to stay with my mom and my sister because it was just very difficult at the time. The infrastructure wasn't in place for moms, college student moms, to have their own living quarters. Now they do have spaces for parents and children to go to school. So I couldn't, I had joined a co-ed fraternity, and my frat brothers used to keep I had my son and my nephew down there, and I'd go to class and I'd come back, they eating sweet cereal, they watching cartoons, they jumping on top of the bed. I was like, this is crazy. It's not going to work. So anyway, I had to bring him back to Chicago, which was another tough decision for me. But I thought he'd be safer. It'd be better for him. I would know that he's taking care of. My mother was there. She had finished working, so she helped raise him. And my sister, Diana, watched over him until I finished college.
And you finished college. Now, tell me, how do you get in politics? Because you can I tell y'all something? So, Mr. Excitement is political savant, but can I tell you who is the one that be like, let me see them signatures? I remember the first time I was checking signatures for Darlena, I was like, I don't think we gonna give me that paper. Give me that paper. Boy, you don't see this? Tell me about your political experience. How you got politics?
And how I started, I was volunteering on the campaign for a job.
Okay.
Running for alderman on the west side in the 37th Ward. But actually, I had gotten involved with Harold Washington's campaign, and it was the Come Alive in 85 campaign. Okay. So you had these aldermen running. And when I started, all we did was check signatures on petitions. I mean, all day. Spread them out on the floor, go through line by line, checking everything, making sure the voter was registered at the address they said and the signature was good. So I was very familiar with petitions, and I know that's the main course, that if you don't get that right, you don't go any further. So that's why I used to be so hard on you, Maze.
I take it, though. You know what? I will take it. So from there, you get involved in politics. You know, because we only got about 3 minutes. Okay. I want you to put a bow on it. So tell me the story and tell me the best story you can in 3 minutes from coming back to Chicago. Now you can't forget Mr. Excitement because you know that's my man. But I need you to tell us the rest of the story, Darlene.
Well, like I said, I got involved in that campaign, and he was successful. Alderman Giles won, and he allowed me to work part-time. He inherited a committee, so I got on that committee. I started working in government, and I never looked back. I kept working on campaigns. I stayed with his organization up until the time something happened, and I met Walter. I was in the Young Democrats.
Young Dems?
Yep.
That's where you get, that's where I got mine too.
The training ground. So I was in the Young Democrats. Growing with my organization, he made me the president of our 37th Ward Young Democrats. I met Walter. He was over in the 42nd Ward. And, you know, the rest is history.
Let me tell y'all. But Boss Lady, I think what I don't want to do is minimize you because you have had a tremendously illustrious career of yourself. Please tell the people what you've done. I mean, because I think when you think about your political career, you've been everything from a county commissioner. You know, my proudest is you were the state central committee woman. Because you know that's. But tell us a little bit about your career politically and like some of your landmark achievements.
So that's it. Once I helped that campaign, I got involved in many campaigns. I served as a campaign chair for Secretary Jesse White. Prior to that, when he ran for Recorder of Deeds, I helped spearhead his campaign.
Like black people.
And as you say, I ran and won for State Central Committee woman. During that time, I served as a superdelegate for then candidate Barack Obama. I was a commissioner, just all the way back to times when I was a union steward and contract negotiator for SEIU, and I lobbied in Washington, D.C. on their behalf. And then I served as the recorder, chief deputy of the Recorder of Deeds office for 15 years.
Yeah. It's funny because, you know, often, so we talk about a lot of times behind every strong man is a great woman, right? And I'm going to tell you that there has not been a partnership that I've seen work as well as I've seen Alderman Burnett and Darlena Williams-Burnett. If you drive all through the 27th Ward, right? I remember being a campaign manager and being like, dog, you gonna put your wife on every billboard with you? Like, that's my wife. I love her. Can't you tell?
You are so wrong.
She is the love of my life, Maze, and she gonna be on every billboard. No, Darlena, I'm gonna tell you that
She's the love of my life too. So there.
And I'm gonna tell you, you have been a blessing to my life, inspirational, motivational. You have pushed. You have and I mean, I've been through some ups, some downs, all types of craziness, and I know that throughout all of those, you and Alderman Burnett have been with me.
And I just give it to you straight with no chaser.
Woo! Sometimes you be like, I don't even want to say.
All of my children.
I'll be like, don't tell her, man. I'll be like, big dog, please don't tell her. Please don't tell her. I'll be like, because it's people in the world that you don't want to disappoint, right? It's people in the world whose opinions matter, what they think about you matters, right? Who have been part of my first. And I would tell you that you don't get to 100 until you take the first step. And the first step in this game came to me from Alderman Burnett and Darlena Williams-Burnett. And so y'all know me. I don't forget my friends. I don't deny my friends. We can say whatever we want. We can disagree. But never forget the people who got you to where you are. And so, Boss Lady, not only do we expect to get more information about the book signing, which is Friday, September 17th at 326 North Racine Freight and Plate from 5 to 7 p.m. I want y'all to go. I want you all to not only come out, and we'll be talking about that. Matter of fact, what you should do, Riis, let's get with her and let's get her to cut a spot, and then we can run that spot on air so we can promote it, as well as I want y'all to pick up the book, right? Amazon. Go to Amazon, Living History, Darlena Burnett. I keep wanting to say Darlena Williams-Burnett, right?
That's fine. I answer by all of those.
Right. Give my boy the respect. You heard that, Carrie?
She put us on game. Hyphenate
In case I
keep them in suspense. Is that in the book? Let me give you 4 copies.
Before I go, I know I dominated this, but Ruthie, do you got anything you add?
I'm really excited to read the book. I think sometimes when we get to certain levels in our lives, we try to like forget our past. So I can really appreciate you kind of putting yourself out there and imparting your wisdom, because most people don't do it. So thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
And Darlena, you talked about the teenage pregnancy, and I'm gonna stay real high. I would say that in my own personal experiences, things don't always go the way that we anticipate them to go. Maybe not the way we planned for it or hoped it would go.
True.
But when you look at the outcomes, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say, when I was having my own concerns, one of the things that I looked at was the outcomes that you had. And I think that sometimes the things that may be things that we don't want to talk about can also be the inspiration of people who may be going through some of those things. So I will tell you that as I was, and I can't go too far into it, but just know that those stories are important, right? You have a similar story to my mom, right?
I agree, they're important.
And my mom was like, man, we had options here. And it's not, I think in today's world, the answer is always, let's take the easy way.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not judging anybody. Everybody has a choice. But I think sometimes, I think about the decisions, and I think that once they come and they're here, all you can do is be thankful and try to help their trajectory. Yeah.
So I can tell you this, Maze, before our time is up. If I am able to do anything in life, that's something I would like to do. I would like to have a space for any young mom that seemingly overwhelmed with the ability to care for their child, and I'd like to be the outlet for those. I'd like to have a space where mothers, if they are not ready right now to be a parent, I'd like to be in a place to help those young moms.
So it's a lot of stuff out here, y'all. So thank you. Like, I think, and I think we all y'all check out the book. Y'all know we give people a hard time, and I know that
you.
This ain't French class.
Hey, let me just say, Amaze, I'm very proud of you and Tennille, and we do go a long ways back. You guys are family, and I'm very proud of you, where you are now and where you're going.
Thank you so much. And you know what? Never once in all of the things that I've talked about have you or Alderman Burnett ever said, stop. Mm-hmm. You wrong. Do what's right for you. Do what you feel. And even when we don't agree, they've always had my back. So my friends are my friends. I'm never denying them. So you can be mad all day long. But I just need for y'all to know that Darlena Williams-Burnett has been a true servant to the community. And if you love me, you wouldn't even know me. Well, you might.
Quickly, can I share with you
our
event coming up?
Oh, yeah.
Saturday?
Come on.
Yeah. So we're hosting our 27th annual Stay in School Picnic.
Are we having an actual picnic?
It's not the way it used to be.
Because I'm going to just tell y'all, I got to tell you before you go this. If you ain't been to a back-to-school event, you need to go to the one in the 27th. Them kids be getting lobster.
What?
No. I'm telling you now. If you go to the 27th ward, Stay in School, because they got Restaurant Row. Right?
I'm in the wrong ward.
Ruthie, you are in the wrong ward. I tell everybody, you better hurry up, though, because we ain't going to be able to afford it soon. but most ladies
are leaving us, we speak.
Go ahead, talk to us.
It's going to be this Saturday over at Union Park, 1501 West Randolph, and we'll be distributing over 200 bikes to young people. They're going to get their bikes, and then they're going to have a little workshop to learn how to take care of their bike and how to be safe on their bike. They'll get helmets, and they'll get all the tools they need to keep their bike in check. And of course, they'll get school supplies and book bags and all the sweet treats. And
is the corn machine going to be there?
No, maybe.
You ain't gonna have a corn machine
because of COVID. But prayerfully next year the corn machine will be back.
Let me tell you,
it's the hit.
What's this? Pre-pitchfork, baby pitchfork?
Hey,
exactly.
Can I tell you what? If you have not been to I would tell you that the Stay in School picnic has been going on. So y'all was. So we've been together.
This will be our 27th year, and this will be the first time it's scaled down just because of COVID.
Y'all, I'm telling you, them kids are spared nothing. Nothing. Like, they don't get, ain't no soy burgers. Ain't not a lick of soy in the burger. They be like straight beef patties. Like, phew. Like you got the cream soda. Like, they don't get can pop. They get bottled pop. Right? They get the gourmet.
We stopped giving them soda because
y'all done got healthy too.
Yeah,
God.
Be healthy. I mean, we give them enough stuff to go home sugared up, but we don't give out the sodas anymore just because we are more concerned about their health.
Just get them. Just put them in the cooler truck. I take care of them.
That company, Goose Island and that component was sold, so we don't get them like that anymore. But we are trying to be more health conscious. And
so I'm gonna tell y'all what. You see, but y'all see, look, like they gonna have the good healthy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
They gonna have the good healthy stuff. So if you live in the 27th ward, you can sneak too, cause they don't check no IDs. So if if y'all be in some of the shady wards, you really need some good school supplies. Show up, cause they got bags for everybody.
We definitely do. We make sure that no child leaves the park without a bag. So we always try to have more than enough to supply them.
May said we could come pick up some school supplies.
Yeah, right. You tell them, May said. And you say, no, this is what you say. This is what you got to say. You got to be like, hey, y'all, I came to get some school supplies. And I
already told you, May.
Boss lady, I got one more question.
It's unnecessary.
What? Tell me the origins of Jahario, the name. Was it an African warrior or something?
It was an African king and an Indian prime minister. I saw it in a book before he was born, and I said, that's going to be his name. And the Omar came from the actor Omar Sharif. So Jahario is an African king and an Indian prime minister.
And now he's a state representative. Look at that. Projection. Plan. Right? Who would have thought? Right? You would have... So I say, y'all, God got a plan. You hear Riis playing in the back. Riis, turn it up, because we're going to turn it up before we let the boss lady go. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Darlena, Williams-Burnett, man, it's like family in the building. Right here. Man, safety net, too. Safety net. We talk about that later. Hey, I want to thank you for coming. Pick up the book, Living
Congratulations.
History. We are super proud that you finished it. I got a feeling there's going to be more. And, y'all, like, we're going to have to get you. We might have to have you come in and sit in and co-host on one of these days. Because, Todd don't be showing up.
I would love it. I'd be honored.
Okay, well, we're going to have you come on, sit in, and, but you can't be telling people you know me too much, because, you have to, they be like, they have a denial. Big Dog be having, like, now, I know that's my boy, but I don't believe everything he say. That's okay,
I
though.
don't agree.
But guess what he don't never do? Never deny me. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, Darlena Williams-Burnett, Ruthie Moore, and DJ Riis, the Ruler.
Have mercy. Have mercy. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIIFTBP Monster Jam. Coming to Allstate Arena September 17th through 19th. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Visit monsterjam.com for event details. You have to see it live, so get your tickets today.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 8:12 a.m. and I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports, traffic, and weather update. In sports, the Chicago White Sox in Toronto taking on the Blue Jays. Sox would homer 4 times, and Carlos Rodon would get the win on his return as the Sox will win 10-7. Now on the traffic on the Kennedy O'Hare to the Loop is 34 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 25. On the Eden, inbound from Deerfield to Exchange will be 43. Exchange to Deerfield will be 37. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop will be 51. Back out to Thorndale will be 37. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan will be 60 minutes. Outbound will be 40. The Bishop Ford from I-80 to the Dan Ryan is 37 minutes. 28 minutes back out to I-80. On the Dan Ryan is 20 minutes to the Loop. 16 minutes back out to 95th. DuSable Lakeshore Drive is still locked in at 8 minutes all around. That's 55th to Jackson and Jackson to 55th, as well as the north side, which is Randolph to Bryn Mawr and Bryn Mawr to Randolph. Today's weather is currently 74 and sunny. Today is a high of 91 and a low of 70. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Riis the Ruler. Here's Slick with So Good.
I don't know what you did, but you did it right. Girl, you make it look so easy. Everywhere you go, heads turning left and right. Can't say you a dime, you're a 20-piece. Cause girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that grown on, why you gotta look so good, good. With your hair done, nails done, when you put that grown on, girl, why you gotta look so good? I can look and see you're not an average chick. You're shutting it down everywhere you go. Girl, I want you as bad as I wanna check. Cause you're sexy from head to toe. Girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put your grown on. It's something about you when you put your clothes on. When you're waking up straight out of bed, girl, why you gotta look so good? Oh, when you're at the job just taking a break, girl, why you gotta look so good? In the club turning up, why you gotta look so good? On the dance floor, giving more. Why you gotta girl, you know you be killing them when you be getting your own woman. No, with your hair done.
Back to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stoger, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mays said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah.
let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happening in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steel on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. For Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Well, wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Moore, in the building, rocking her Delta elephants around her neck.
Don't do it, Maze, because you just trying to create a rivalry.
No, you know I'm an instigator.
We know.
We gonna win, though. Because, see, Riis, you know, Riis, Mr. Business in the front, party in the back, you know the alphas, they don't get in it. They be like, we don't have no parts of that.
We was first.
We was first. We above it.
We better than all y'all.
We the originals.
We the original. Yeah, that's all you have.
I'm glad y'all know, so I don't gotta say it.
I got that's DJ Riis the Ruler. Plus, I got sitting. So we decided, you know, since Darlena's here,
Burnett's
That
nah. Look, his like Maze. You should just go and let Darlena stay for the whole hour. I gotta Zoom anyway.
Yeah, leave him alone. Leave Walt out of this.
No, man. It is the Maze Jackson Show. It's Maze, Ruthie, Riis, and DWB, Darlena Williams-Burnett, sitting in with us for the rest of the time. Y'all, I got a whole bunch of topics on my paper. Darlena, if you feel like you're going to get in trouble for any of the things we talk about, you know, you can just tap on out. But did y'all see that the city council, the job about yesterday? I was all praying at the altar of Yeezy last night. Black folks was like, the world is like, it was, I call this Palm Friday.
38,000
Palm Friday though. 38,000 people, because it was like the triumphant return of Yeezus to Chicago. So y'all was laying palms down. Like, they were just crazy. I felt like, I was reading these Facebook posts. Y'all was testifying like, oh, the transformation of the God of... I was like, what?
Kanye's the soundtrack to a lot of people's lives.
So y'all be getting...
You understand that?
No. Kanye, no. Okay, I'll give you that. I'm going to leave it alone. But while it was happening, we was partying. You know, I tell you, we be dancing to our demise. Meanwhile, the Latino power brokers were convening where Alderman Gilbert Villegas, who I'm being told is soon to be returning to the chair of the Latino caucus, said that he was marshaling the resources to be prepared for the war over this remap. I played the video for y'all. Then we saw that the Chicago Aldermanic Black Caucus said, we want 18. 18 wards. The numbers say that we're supposed to get 15, but according to the cartographer, y'all know a cartographer, the map maker, say, I think we can make it happen and still keep 18. I guess my question now is, where is the seat of Black power and what are we looking for? Because, like, I don't believe that we actually, like, I felt like I was at a meeting, like, rallying up troops, like, okay, y'all got to start getting back together. It was like we putting the band back together. Because there is a vacuum, and now we got some data. You know you love data. You saw me say data. I did that.
You saw I turned around real quick. What?
Because, I mean, they're like, we're armed with the census. I need the business community, and I need to be able to call you all because we're going.
You know what it kind of remind me of? It's like how Black people just be trying to maintain. While they growing and building, we literally just trying to maintain.
No, we was at the party, though. Because then
everybody wasn't at the Yeezy party.
Okay.
That's right, Mace.
Okay.
All
You
of
didn't
us
go?
weren't there. Yeah. Some of us.
So here's me. I don't feel like the discussion of power, like, I feel like it's almost looked at as a bad thing in our community. And so I feel like we want to convene and be cool and act like there's not a conspiracy to move us, but it's happening. And I don't know how to, and I hope you can help us inform this conversation because, you know, I come from politics. I learned, I'm telling you, I learned from you.
Right.
I was at the meeting yesterday when they were like, we don't ask for it, we take it. And then after we take it, then people acquiesce to us and they say we can do it. And I'm juxtaposing this, and I really, to our mentality, which is, I have tried to be loyal to every mayor that I've served. Who is the master? I think we often look at things from a ward dynamic, right? And so you got to protect your constituency. But how do we get the conversation broader? Because they weren't talking segmented. They were like, let's get the pie. We can chop it up after we get the pie. I don't know how we get to that point. And I know I'm highly critical of Black elected officials because I feel like we've been loyal to a system that is really served to betray us. I think we're loyal to something that used to exist. We knew there was a path before, right? Now, at the
You know, I think, Maze, what we are witnessing and what we are seeing is something that has always been there.
Okay.
There's always this effort to divide and of course, we are stronger in numbers when we work collectively. But there is not a willingness to be a collective body anymore. It's everyone is, there's a thought process that we got to have it all and I'll determine what share you get, which is not the way to build community. A city, this city needs to be rebuilt. And I don't think one group is going to be able to position themselves to lead that charge. So I think that what we're going to see is the need for some coalition building. And whether it's whatever ethnic group is part of that coalition, that's going to be the group that's successful. No one group can do it by themselves. I don't care what you think. I don't care what your numbers say. I don't care who you think you are. If you don't build coalition and be inclusive in your desire to move this city forward, then the city will not go forward and you will not be in a position to lead.
But my question then becomes, because I don't ever see anybody wanting to ally with us, right? Like, I feel like that alliance was already created. That's how we had HDO. That's how we had MLI. That's how they're reconvening.
But they weren't really allying with us. They were allying with the white power base.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, we see that everything has been catered to that growing population at our expense. And I don't see the white folks saying, let's align with the black folks. I see the Latinos, because one generation in, they be like, I'm with them. And so I'm just curious, when do we start to have the discussion about power? Like, literally, not conceptually. Like, they was counting. Like, they keeping score. Like, they was like, we have 3 commissioners. We have 6. These numbers have to change, and we're taking and all the spots.
And that's not the first time that conversation has been had.
Okay.
And then you go to the polls. So
why does it seem like, though, they don't got the numbers, but they still get the perception of power?
Well, perception is in the eyes of the beholder.
Okay. And you know, they just don't want to behold us. That's what I say.
You know, I think sometimes it's difficult to have these sorts of conversations without it being like anti. And once people can paint something as anti, then it makes it difficult to have these conversations about power that directly put like literally cultural and ethnic groups against each other. And so I think when it's not politically correct, quote unquote, or they make it not politically correct for us.
So it's so crazy, because when I was in the joint yesterday, when I was at the event, like, I don't really want to, but they was like, man, bro, you saying the right stuff for your people. When y'all go, I get the most pushback from black folks, because the other people be like, fight for your people. Go kick. Yesterday at the joint, they was like, bro, when you going to lead your people? I'm like, I'm not the leader of nothing. I don't want no parts of that, because then, you know, the second you say you the leader of anything, everybody, he ain't running nothing.
Well, I think true leadership is, it comes from the ground up.
Okay.
It's grown. You know, anybody can get up and profess to be a leader and profess to have everything in place to take charge. But you will see in any role where a person is in leadership how difficult it is to lead. You know, so when you become a leader, it's not because you declare yourself to be a leader. It's because other people declare that you are capable and able to lead.
Come on.
I'm with you.
So it's not up to any one person to say we gonna get this. I mean, we all can say that.
So how we get a piece? Because do you think we winning or losing in this town right now?
I don't think there are any winners right now.
Okay.
I think that we have to figure out how to win. You know, when you look globally at Chicago and where we used to be and where we are, where people are leaving this city in groves, where violence is the option, you know, we don't even know how to communicate. We don't know how to talk to each other. We don't know how to respect anything or anyone. We have a lot to do. We have a lot of growing to do to even get back competitively on the global scene. But just locally, locally, we got to do better. We can't be talking about who's going to lead when crime is leading. You know, those are the realities.
Is this in the book? Y'all better go get this book.
I mean, the reality is every
words.
neighborhood needs so much help. And it's not just the poor black neighborhoods anymore. It's every neighborhood needs to grow, needs to improve, needs to come up. And leadership has to be in place for that too.
Kind of like with your knowledge of like the political infrastructure, past, present, possibly future. I think you got a vantage point. Where do we start? Do we start with politics? Do we start with economics?
Or family?
Because Mays always say, how do we stop the bleeding? Like, how do we stop the bleeding?
So I think before the bleeding stops, we have to get in to the homes. We have, and where there are elements that are missing in our homes, the village has to step in. When we were growing up, You know,
Sound
I mean,
like Ruthie. Oh God.
I mean,
Here we go.
That's what I said in my head. Like,
we cannot deny.
They had a meeting before the show.
It starts here, and then it spreads outward. With these young kids walking around here with guns, mothers have to lead. You have to be the head of your household. Children have to respect their parents. They have to love their parents, and parents have to love on their children. The nucleus of the family has to be nurtured. Until we get that in place, and you can't, you know, when you try to talk to these leaders or these external factors, and they say, we can't do nothing with them. I'm like, how in the world is it that you can't do anything with your child or your sister or your brother or this kid that looks up to you? There is nowhere in the world that you bring a child into this world and they're not accountable to you and you're not accountable to them. Till we get that, we got to get that right away. And then we start looking at educational equity. We're making sure that our children are learning things they need to learn and not so focused on the things they don't need to know. Then they become leaders in the community. Mm-hmm. You know, when I was in school, when I was in junior high, I was very much aware of my political surroundings. I supported the guy who ran against Mayor Daley because there was a big hole in my sidewalk that collected rain, and when I went out my door, and it was full of water and mud, and I just thought, this is not right. So I learned, though, that was my alderman's responsibility, not necessarily the mayor's responsibility. But the point is, I was engaged, and young people are not engaged politically.
Let me back up. First of all, I don't appreciate you and Ruthie teaming up. I don't appreciate
that was an accident.
I don't appreciate y'all teaming up.
Like
I got to instigate. Look, red and blue. No, I'm just joking. Boss lady, so I'll be honest with you. When I used to remember we would be at ward meetings. And you'd be like, I got to go. Because I got to take Walter to acting class. And I got to go take him to, that boy did some of everything. Tell me, what do you think are the keys to raising a successful child to an adult? Because, I mean, I be sticking my chest out when we say, well, let's do it. Yo, don't know my you. He got your hope. No, I'm sorry. Talk to me about what are the things that you think are successful for parents that maybe our children are missing?
You know, I can go back to when I was a child and my mom was raising us. We knew who was the boss. And we knew what I mean, you try to sneak and get away with things, but she was on you to go to school. She was on you to be in the house at a certain time. If you can't hear my voice, if I have to come looking for you, you don't want any of those consequences. So you learn how to be obedient. Children right now need to learn how to be obedient because your parents know more than you.
Most people don't think this dang on phone doesn't change the game on people because you tell them something, they be like, that ain't what Google said.
Well, you know what? I raised a child without these, and I raised a child with these. And when these got to be little too much for me and for him, it's put it all down. You know, you take everything away. You got to teach children that you don't have the ability to process everything that's coming at you as fast as it's coming at you. So when you try to take all of that in every day, all day, it is too much. No one should be subjected to the amount of information that we have to and are expected to process on a daily basis. How can you focus on the things that are important to you as a young person, to your household, when you are looking at what this rapper said and what's going on around your block, or you on Facebook retaliating against something? Part of the problem is we do not manage social media. Our children have too much freedom to do whatever they want to do with these things. So when I was raising Walter, this thing, all of his devices go in a basket at the door at night. And I had to do that because he was in his room when he should be asleep. he was, this light is on. It's messes with your brain. You can't even bring it down, right? So all of the social media, all these tools, the phone and whatever little other device they had, put it in a basket at the door at a certain time. Now you go and you lay your head down and process. So I mean,
okay,
it's tough being a parent today. I get that, but children have to know who's in charge, and they cannot have too much freedom. You got to limit it.
Man, it is so hard.
It's very hard. I know that.
So hard today to be a parent, because like I didn't, like, if my mom said something, it really wasn't no question.
No.
It wasn't no thought process. It was do it or else, and the or else was enough motivation.
That's right.
To be on the straight and narrow. Where did it go?
Well, I
Is
think
it the
it's
phone?
the times we're living in. When like I said, when we were growing up, the TV even went off at a certain time. But nowadays, children, I mean, they
It
can't
wasn't
get
even
on
no
the phone.
shows on after a certain time.
Right, it was just static.
Right.
Right.
Or it was the national anthem playing all night.
Like, go to bed.
You ain't know the TV used to go off?
No.
TV used to go off.
You just put in a tape.
But there were no,
there were no tapes.
I know. I'm just talking.
And if they were, we couldn't afford them.
Or if there was a tape watching you. I'm sorry. Tape though.
Yeah, that is. So I think that part of the problem with today's society and trying to raise children is all of the external influences that come into the home and into their minds that you don't have any idea. Especially if you're a working mom or you're a single parent, you don't know what your children are exposed to. And trying to put some type of filter on that is very difficult. But I think if you put down the basic foundation of who's in charge, my rules apply over everybody else's rules, then you have a foundation to build from. You children by the time they're 3 years old. And the reason I know that is because around the time they're 3, they know their feet can move. They know they can do things that they weren't able to do before. And when they are outside, they take liberties that they would not have taken before. If you watch a toddler, a 3-year-old, by the time they're 3, they think they know as much as you do because they can go, they can move. They used to grab your hand. When they're 3, they want you to let their hand go so they can go. So you have to always. Then I had to snatch that hand. Right. No, you don't know enough to let go of my hand right now.
Okay.
So you got to make sure at the end of the day, hey, what's been going on in your world? Get in here and help me prepare this meal. Put all this stuff to the side and let's talk. And we don't do enough of any of that anymore.
I'm feeling a little inadequate right now. Yeah.
Not to say that it's easy, but
it is definitely not easy.
We got to take the reins back, all of it.
All right, y'all. This is
that was deep.
Man, you know what? I feel like I would like to believe that there are more children like Lil Walter than there are like King Von. And I'm using King Von just because it's just the. Where are our children, do you think, right now? Do you think we've got it? I feel like right now we're so far away from the value set that I knew growing up, and it's almost like I'm very proud of how I grew up, and I feel like a lot of times I'm almost like criticized, but I feel like the outcomes were worth it. I didn't know everything that was happening, and I'm sure as an adult you find out things that but Ruthie be breaking up your whole. Y'all just be looking at everybody now like cross-eyed. But I feel like there was some things as a child that I didn't know and didn't know until so be shaped that it didn't bend me, that it didn't warp me, and I am like I just wonder where do we learn success for our kids? Like I don't know. I'm just sometimes I feel like, do you think we need parenting classes?
I think that we need support systems. If it comes in the form of a parenting class, so be it. But a lot of us need support. We need help. We need the ability to focus in on what's important to us. And I tell you, one thing that I don't see enough of anymore is young children having a fear of a higher being. You know, when we were younger, even if we didn't even if our parents didn't take us to church, they sent us to church. And children need to have some fear of something other than, a higher being that listen.
Good and bad, that gives them some sense of good and bad.
Yeah.
Right and wrong.
Absolutely.
Some sense, like I do feel
some moral fortitude, right? Okay. Of the commandments of life. You're not put here to kill people. Where do you get that concept from? You don't take from other people because you want it. You want it, you work for it. You save for it.
But is that, I feel like now we look like, I feel like you mad, you call that getting it from the dirt. And I feel like it's part of the
What does that mean? I've heard that before.
See, I just heard it this week.
My granddaughter said something to me like that, and I was like, where do you get that from? What does that mean?
What's the context?
So like me, they look at me like you Grams, they call me Grams. You're successful, but you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Like you got it from the dirt. I'm like, what the hell? What's the dirt?
So
I got it from
walking 50 miles to school.
Okay, well, I got it from the dirt then.
Yeah,
but I feel like having this conversation, like, is there dignity in work still?
If you want something, how are poor people gonna have anything?
We supposed to get it. The government got to give it to them.
If you don't work for it.
No. We was talking. Give it some more context, Maze. Is there dignity in working for $10 an hour for 40 hours per week?
I did it for 3.
If you can't, but yeah, that was back when a Big Mac was 2 cents. The stuff is not
$1.25 actually.
Inflation is not keeping up with wages, so it's no dignity in doing all that when you could just, be an Instagram star.
Well, if you can, go for it. My thing is, if you can't be an Instagram star, and wherever you can land, and you can solidly land, even if it's 10, and I get the concept of inflation and the need to be able to have everything that's vital, pay your bills, pay your rent. But what we have to, I think, remember is everyone will not start at the same place at the same time. So wherever you start, just make sure that that's a solid foundation for you. If you have to start making minimum wage, then when you get that minimum wage check, how are you going to divide that? What are you going to do? Are you going to buy gym shoes? Are you going to go pay for a car you can't afford? Or are you going to take a portion of that money and say, hey, this goes to help contribute to my household, and this other part goes to pay for food and transportation? My point is, you got to start somewhere, and everyone won't start at the top. And my mother didn't start at the top. I didn't start at the top. And I had a college degree. I had working poor wages. But even in that, I was able to take some of that and save towards something bigger, something greater over time. And that's what we have to do. Wherever you can land, whatever, if you can be a star, go for it. Do what you can do to impact your life, but don't take away from hard work ethic, because it's real. All of us have to work is some of us have to work harder. Some of us are able to work smarter. But we need to value that process because no one is going to really give you anything.
You know, you said something. See, I'm a big advocate for mentorship because I think that it's a lot of gaps. Like we have like wisdom gaps and knowledge gaps. So whereas I say, no, ain't no dignity in working 40 hours for $10. Whereas you say, well, actually, if you save it this way and you plan this way and you manage it this way, these can be your outcomes. I feel like that's the part that's missing, that mentorship to say, hey, you can do it this way, but here's a better way for you to do it that way. Because the average person who working, 40 hours a week for $10, there's this, what's the way out of that?
Totally. And I agree right there. And I'm not saying that there's dignity in making low wages. I'm saying there's dignity in the process.
That's what
You're
that's the part.
You're not here. You make the minimum wage salary forever. But if you making it right now, my mom, when I was working poor, my mom was like, Lena, that was my name. Only person that called me Lena. You got to save something. I said, Mom, I don't have anything to save. Once I pay rent, once I buy some shoes for Omar, there's nothing left. She said, listen, you cannot miss what you can't measure. Meaning that take a portion of that money, put it to the side. Let them take it and put it into an account for you. But you're not going to miss it because you never saw it. But give it a couple of years and that money is going to grow. And that money I was able to take from not having enough, working poor, paying my own rent at the time, buying my own food. I was able to pay down on a house for my mom. There was no dignity in the process. There was dignity in the fact that I was able to get a house for my mom working poor wages. And a few years later, I wasn't working poor wages anymore. I was, up there a little bit. So my thing is let's let the process be a part of the outcome. And we just can't get to the top.
That's the key word, I think, the process. What does that process look like?
And I also think, so, and maybe I'm just jaded, and I'm not going to take that away. I feel like what you're calling mentorship is probably what I got at home. Recognizing now that there are probably not a lot of people that have had that experience. And so
we have broken families, broken homes.
So I think it's very hard for me sometimes to understand like how people don't understand progression.
What you would deem to be a basic concept.
But if you have never seen progression,
how would you ever know?
So I get it now, sort of. I do think though that so I get that concept.
But I know sometimes, Maze, you feel like that ain't your responsibility. But how she talked about the village concept, I absolutely feel it is responsibility to fill those gaps in because of our broken family structure.
I feel like my job is to fill in the gaps in a different place. In a different place. I did my 20 years of young people teaching basic job skills, hiring everybody, going through being a counselor, all of that stuff, right? Because I'm trying to help a kid who's on the block. And I'm not going to say that there's not a place for that. I think that I've moved past that and my mission is in a different space. I don't disagree with mentorship, but I think for me, it's like I believe politics and business are two of the areas, like you say family, for me it's politics and business because I believe that allows for those infrastructures to create that, what do you say, those systems that we need. What did you say you need to have to protect the kids? You said that
I think she said support
systems, right? So that we're building a support system that is not laden with white people from somewhere coming to save black kids and they got more administration fees than they got actual outcomes. So really trying to get us out of that trap. I always think of the Ford, the old man always says, we always want to have the Ford Foundation. But there is no Ford. We got it confused because there's no Ford Foundation without Ford making billions of dollars and having to spin off their money. And so we got to create all of those infrastructures and ecosystem. And I think everybody has a space in that.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey.
No doubt about it. I think that, too, what's missing from our communities, if we go back and we look at 8th Ward organization, the political organizations were an economic engine for our communities, and those have dissolved, or they're not what they used to be, where people could come with minimum skills. You didn't have to have a college degree, and you were able to get into a structure that allowed you to not only get a job, but
get a little bit ahead.
Get ahead, and you had a support system to help you keep your job.
And then
Fellowship.
your kids, you could afford your kids to go and take a step up, right? Go to college. It's a crazy situation.
But our infrastructure is eroded. We have no infrastructure.
They put holes in it. So I'm going to stop because this has been we got to be. This was deep. Somebody said, can we have that?
My bad.
No.
Oh,
You're
this was
good.
great.
You're good. You know how to sing and say.
I love your You ain't got to talk about the constitutionally bound nature of y'all fraternity and sorority.
I said it's all love.
I do.
We're going to help make Ruthie feel better. I'm going to change the lights to red while we're here for a little bit.
Look, I appreciate your intergenerational approach. Yeah. I appreciate it.
I think that's part of what's
because it's real.
Yeah, we need it.
It's real, but it's not too high, meaning that I feel like the average everyday person can still, thank you, Maze, can still connect with your message. And that likely is probably based on maybe like the purity of you or whatever. But thank you.
Well, thank you so much for receiving me and letting me be a part of your little world today.
Ruthie Ruthie be mad at everybody.
No, I don't.
She be like, that the system.
Ruthie be like, I'm trying to keep it as real as possible.
I'm burning this mud down. Anyway, it is Friday, so we got to do Tell Me Something Good Friday. We're running out of time, so I want to do that. I want to give everybody a chance to tell us something good Friday. I'm going to start with Miss Ruthie Moore. Ruthie Moore, tell me something good for this Friday.
Dang, I wasn't ready. Okay, so I literally been counting down how many weekends do we have left of the summer, and I think we might be at about 2 to 3
Is this telling me something good?
What are you doing? I don't know.
What are you doing here?
Something.
That was not telling me something good, Ruthie. You didn't tell me that the end of summer is here, and it's like, oh Lord.
You know what? I got to tell me something good.
Go ahead.
So I decided to hire somebody that cut my grass. A black person, right? And I got my grass cut yesterday, and he edged. He blew the grass. Like, I can appreciate a good on cut.
Shout out to the brothers who got, because it's hard for a brother to cut some grass these days. You can't get on the block. They be like, we'll take the whole block for $20. And they just run through the whole thing. So shout out to Ruthie for hiring a black lawn care company.
Black services. You got to seek them out sometimes.
You got to work hard to find them, and you make sure you support them.
And he's good.
Okay,
so good.
All right, well, that's good stuff. All right, DJ, Riis. Business in the front, party in the back. Riis the ruler. What's up, man? Tell me something good.
First of all, I enjoyed you. I'm also a teen father myself. Had my child at 15. He's in his first year of college, and he's been gone for 10 days, and he has not called me. I am very upset at him.
Praise God.
Praise God. Yeah, but I tell you
he'll be calling.
When that money run out.
Yeah, well, he'll call.
I'm sorry. The caller you have reached now is not in service. You know what, man? I'm blessed to be, busy all weekend. I'll say that.
Good Lord.
Good. Make your money, Riis.
Riis, clean it up.
I don't want to say that because, maybe
hold on. Because Riis teamed up with Tennille, and now he be.
Don't be telling they business.
Yeah, right. That's why, that's why I said I'm blessed to be busy this week. That's all I said.
Ruthie be hating, man. Stop hating. Let me just have, I got to haze everybody a little bit. All right. Boss lady, tell me something good. Wow.
Oh. Well, I'm just grateful to be alive and looking forward to the Stay in School picnic and having a great weekend.
One more time. Give us the details on Stay in School.
So it's this Saturday at Union Park, 1501 West Randolph, right at the corner of Lake, Ashland, and Randolph. Free bikes, giveaway, some other nice things. We got some laptops. So come out and be a part of as well. So we're looking forward to it. We put a lot of effort into it, trying to be COVID, have the COVID awareness. So come out if you can. If and partake of their festivities.
And I'm telling y'all, they got the best stuff in the bags. They school supply. They be getting the real stuff. Like your pencils don't be like, you know how you can get a school supply.
They got
kit?
mechanical pencils.
Oh yeah, they got
a few.
Do the kids got to be present? Because I got 6 kids and they need laptops.
They be like, my baby need a bag too. And I need 3 bikes.
I need 4 bikes.
We like to put it in the hands of the children.
Oh,
we don't really like to put
bring
it in
them.
there.
Look, people be collecting kids.
Hey,
right. Put on your. Hi, I'm Ruthie.
I'm a college student. If that helps too.
Right.
No.
And also, Maze, we're going to have COVID-19 testing. The Secretary of State is going to be there. If you want to renew your license or get a new ID, they'll be on site. And like I said, lots of good stuff. We can do voter registration. It's a first time we're going to have a job fair at the event.
Can I tell you what? I think the unemployment rate in the 27th ward is 0.
It should be.
It is 0. Because I'm telling you, I can't go. I don't care if you go to the Nobu, even the taco joint, it's black people working.
They be putting lettuce on the tacos.
Oh, man, the black people, black people, no, they be trying to put cheddar cheese. They be trying to put American cheese on the tacos. I be like, look, dog, don't nobody want no American cheese on my taco. All right, I got to tell me something good. So, first of all, I want to congratulate Darlena Williams-Burnett on completing her book, because that is something that a lot of people talk about, self-included, but don't get started on it. And I think that it's the first step to do it, but then to put it together. So I'm super proud of you and your book. You all make sure you pick it up. It's called Living History. You can pick it up on Amazon. It is already one of their best sellers. High school football season starts today, so big game tonight. I know we are nervous about COVID and everything else. I am excited after watching my son for almost 2 years, like during the times that are supposed to be the best, being stuck in the house, and it's like they're trying to figure out how to re-engage and figuring out how to start having fun again or trying to do something. And so I'm so excited because he didn't want to do nothing. And now I'm going to the night, and it's his junior year. So I'm excited for him. Go Mustangs, even though they ain't the Raiders. Shout out to the St. Rita Mustangs, whoop Mount Carmel. TP. Check out my man Big Swill just opened up his own store at 55th and the Dan Ryan. It is called TP. The Black is in the. If you are partaker of products of, my cousin, they don't have the products, but they have the stuff. So if you need a character, if you need sticks, all of that stuff. Plus he got an old school candy store in there. Pool tables, all that. So y'all check Big Swill out. He's doing this. Big Swill, we've been together for a long time, so I'm excited to see him finally push off and do something. So if you all are looking to get your $100 hollers, they now have a home in a store. You can go pick up a What's in It for the Black People t-shirt, sweatshirt, hoodie, hat, all of those good things. 55th and the Dan Ryan, all the way at the back of the mall. Mayor Darren Bryant, youngest mayor in the state of Illinois, youngest black mayor in the country, birthday party, having his birthday this weekend, so I'm going to be happy for him to be celebrating. And then the Bears game tomorrow. Justin Fields. You can't say that around Ruthie. She'll cut you off.
No.
Bears.
She gonna cut you off. Well, she's starting to find out if Justin.
Find out who
Justin,
he with.
she gotta see if Justin got a white girlfriend. If he got a white girlfriend, there's gonna be problems. Hey y'all, look, Riis trying to. Hey Riis.
He gotta go make his money.
Hey Riis, you better tell Tennille something. But I tell Tennille I'm the oldest brother around this piece. Hey y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. For DJ Riis the Ruler, for Ruthie Moore, who got the signed autographed copy of Living History by author Darlena Burnett.
Going on eBay.
You gonna sell it on eBay? Look, how much for the signature?
Hey, you about to blow up.
I am your host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace. Look, he ain't even give me no music. He just cut it out.
That's the fact, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel.
I put up.
Much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16